Welcome to World Fact Finder. In this episode, we will discuss 50 fun facts that possible you'll love to know. Let's get started. Number 1. J.K. Rowling chose the unusual name Hermione, so young girls wouldn't be teased for being nerdy. J.K. Rowling borrowed the name Hermione from a character in William Shakespeare's A Winter Night's Tale. Rowling wanted to use a name that wasn't commonly used. She said that when choosing the name, she didn't want a lot of fairly hard-working little girls to be teased if ever the book was published. Number 2. HP's name was determined by a coin toss in 1939. Bill Hewlett and Dave Packard, who met while studying engineering, founded the company in a small garage. To choose the name, they combined their surnames with a hyphen. They flipped a coin to decide the order, and although Dave Packard won, they went with Hewlett-Packard because they liked how it sounded. Number 3. There are a total of 1,710 steps in the Eiffel Tower. Standing at 108 stories tall, the Eiffel Tower is one of Europe's most iconic landmarks. The Eiffel Tower was constructed in 1889, and until 1930, it was the tallest building in the world. So it's no surprise that it's often found on people's bucket lists. To reach the top of this 1,063-foot, 324-meter tall marvel, you must climb 1,710 steps. However, guests are only allowed to climb the stairs until the first platform. From there, they must take an elevator to the top. Number 4. The names of the Pokémon Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan were inspired by legendary martial artists. Yep, they were named after none other than Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan. However, in the original Japanese version, their names were quite different. But when Pokémon made its way to the Western world, their names got a westernized twist. Oh, and if you're curious, the third Pokémon in the Hitmon family, Hitmontop, is named after another martial artist named Larry Top. Number 5. Pigs are considered to be the world's 5th smartest animal. Ah, pigs. They roll around in muck and filth, eat any scraps left around for them, and, for some, are quite delicious. That's not all, though. It turns out that they're incredibly intelligent. Pigs can solve puzzles better than chimpanzees, and they have some of the best long-term memories known to animals. Number 6. Pirates wore earrings because they believed they improved their eyesight. In fact, there are many reasons why pirates wore earrings. Some pirates would use trinkets for earrings from faraway lands. This was to show how well-traveled they were. Pirates believed the precious metals in their earrings were magical and would protect or enhance their eyesight. They also believed earrings could aid in seasickness and prevent them from drowning. Number 7. Los Angeles' original name is El Pueblo de Nuestra Señora la Reina de Los Angeles de Porciúncula. Spanish colonists founded the city that is now known as Los Angeles in 1769. And in 1781, another group of 44 settlers made the new town their home. The Spanish governor named the city El Pueblo de Nuestra Señora la Reina de Los Angeles de Porciúncula. In English, this means the town of Our Lady, the Queen of the Angels of Porciúncula. As the name is quite a mouthful, it became shortened until it finally became Los Angeles. So now, Los Angeles is just the Angels. Number 8. The Twitter bird actually has a name, Larry. When Twitter was founded in 2006, its logo was purchased from a stock image website. The bird logo has had small changes to its appearance in the years since. It wasn't until the 2010s that a Twitter employee revealed that it's actually called Larry. Twitter has since confirmed this and stated that the name comes from Larry Bird, who is a famous Hall of Fame basketball player. The species of Larry the Bird remains a secret. Number 9. Octopuses actually have 6 arms and 2 legs. Just like animals that walk on two appendages, octopuses use their bottom two tentacles for walking, and their top 6 tentacles for manipulating objects, including eating. Unlike humans, octopuses don't have a preference for one side over the other, so there's no such thing as being left or right-tentacled for them. Number 10. Pound cake got its name because the original recipe contained a pound of butter, sugar, flour, and eggs. The simple measurements made the recipe easy to remember. Few people could read back then, so an easy-to-remember recipe was key. 1 pound of each ingredient would have made the cake big enough to feed multiple families. The portions were adjusted over time to make the cake smaller and lighter, but the name stayed the same. Bonus fact: the German chocolate cake has nothing to do with Germany. A Texan invented the cake and used baking chocolate named after the creator, Sam German. Number 11. There are only 2 times that we know of that snow fell in the Sahara Desert. February 18, 1979, was a special day for residents of Ain Sefra, a town in Algeria at the edge of the Sahara Desert. It was special because it was the first time snow could be seen falling in the Sahara Desert for as long as anyone can remember. It snowed for 30 minutes before the average temperature rose, and the snow rapidly melted. Since then, there has been just one case of it happening again, on December 19, 2016. Number 12. Mike Tyson once offered a zoo attendant $10,000 to let him fight a gorilla. Back in the 90s, Mike Tyson was a true force to be reckoned with. Tyson had already bribed a zoo attendant to open the zoo just for himself and his then-wife, Robin Givens. It was during this visit that he made his outlandish request. He demanded the attendant to open the cage and let me smash that silverback snot box. Fortunately for everyone involved, the zoo attendant declined his request. Number 13. ABBA turned down $1 billion to do a reunion tour. At the height of their success in 1979, ABBA was one of the biggest pop bands in the world. 3 years later, the group split up following the divorce of 2 of its members. In 2000, ABBA was offered $1 billion to reunite for 100 shows, which would have been $250 million per member. When asked why they wouldn't accept the offer, they simply said, "It's a hell of a lot of money to say no to, but we decided it wasn't for us." Number 14. Abraham Lincoln fed his cat with a gold fork. Abraham Lincoln was known to be a lover of animals, but his love for cats was next level. The Lincoln family often ate at the White House dinner table with their cat, Tabby. And during a formal dinner at the White House, Abe Lincoln fed Tabby from the table with a gold fork. Lincoln's embarrassed wife said it was shameful in front of their guests. The president replied, "If the gold fork was good enough for former President James Buchanan, I think it is good enough for Tabby." Number 15. There is a nut on a helicopter nicknamed the Jesus nut. Technically called the mast nut, it's a single nut that fixes the rotor blades to the helicopter. It was nicknamed the Jesus nut because if it fails, it would bring about catastrophic consequences. Then, all that's left to do is pray to Jesus. Number 16. Some insects and small birds see the world in slow motion. This is because they can take in more information per second than other, larger animals. This allows them to move rapidly and precisely, which is vital for escaping from predators. They process information so quickly that they perceive time as though it was in slow motion. Fun fact: it's the opposite for some larger animals. For example, elephants take a lot more time to absorb information and act upon it. Number 17. A goat called William Windsor served as a lance corporal in the British Army. William Billy Windsor. I served in the 1st Battalion Infantry Unit of the Royal Welsh. between 2001 and 2009. Billy was not the only animal, and will certainly not be the last to serve in the Royal Welsh, as the tradition dates back to 1844. Following Billy's retirement, he was replaced by a younger goat named William Windsor II. Number 18. The most venomous jellyfish in the world is the irukandji. The irukandji are a few different species of box jellyfish commonly found in the waters off Australia's coast. Although they are the most venomous jellyfish in the world, they are not the most dangerous. The more lethal species of jellyfish are also box jellyfish, but are larger and can administer their venom much faster. Despite this, you should avoid the irukandji at all costs, which is rather tricky as they're smaller than your fingernail. Another reason to steer clear is that their venom is 100 times more potent than a cobra's. Number 19. March 20th is known as Snowman Burning Day. Snowman Burning Day originated at Lake Superior State University in Michigan on March 20th, 1971. This peculiar tradition was inspired by the Rose Sunday Festival in Germany, where a straw snowman was burned as part of an agreement between the mayor and the town's children. Number 20. Queen Elizabeth II wasn't allowed to sit on the Iron Throne from Game of Thrones. Queen Elizabeth II visited the Game of Thrones set, but couldn't sit on it because of an obscure rule. An old and relatively irrelevant rule states, the ruling monarch can't sit on a foreign throne. Despite this throne being a work of fiction, the Queen was a stickler for rules and declined to sit on the Iron Throne. Number 21. There is an official wizard of New Zealand. In 1990, the Prime Minister of New Zealand appointed Ian Brackenbury Channell, an old friend, as the official wizard of New Zealand. Known simply as the Wizard, he is quite outspoken on social issues. For his lifelong service to the community, he was even given the Queen's Service Medal. Number 22. An apple, potato, and onion taste the same if you eat them with your nose plugged. At least 80% of our sense of taste comes from our sense of smell. Because of this, if you were to block the sense of smell, many foods would taste the same, or at least pretty close. In this case, it was tested on many different people who were blindfolded and had their noses plugged. The results? The participants couldn't distinguish between the three, other than from their texture. Number 23. The longest word you're likely to encounter on an everyday basis is uncharacteristically. At 20 letters long, uncharacteristically is far from the longest word in the English language. However, a study of 1.7 million samples of everyday English found that it's the longest you're likely to encounter on a daily basis. Number 24. A company in Poland makes dinnerware out of wheat so you can eat your plate. They make plates out of wheat bran because it's not only edible, but also completely biodegradable. Say goodbye to feeling guilty about using disposable dinnerware. Plastic dinnerware can take centuries to decompose, but it takes just 30 days when made from wheat bran. The company makes plates, bowls, and even cutlery that can withstand high temperatures and wet foods. Unfortunately, the dinner table isn't edible. Number 25. The average person walks the equivalent of 5 times around the world in their lifetime. Unless you're a bit of a couch potato, you will, on average, walk around 7,500 steps daily. The average person lives until they're 80, so it works out that you'll walk about 110,000 miles, 177,027 kilometers, in your lifetime. The circumference of the Earth at the equator is 24,900 miles, 40,072 kilometers. Providing you're an average person who takes average strides and lives an average length of time, it's entirely possible to walk the globe 5 times. Number 26. Michael Jackson offered to make a Harry Potter musical, but the offer was rejected. Michael Jackson, like many others around the world, was a bit of a Potterhead. He saw the opportunity to turn the books into a musical and pitched the idea to J.K. Rowling. For better or worse, Rowling didn't see it as something that would be incredible and rejected it. In an interview with Oprah Winfrey, Rowling defended her decision, saying she turned down many adaptation opportunities, and Michael Jackson's just so happened to be one of them. Number 27. The world record for stuffing drinking straws into your mouth at once is 650. On August 25, 2018, Nataraj Karate broke the Guinness World Record for stuffing 650 drinking straws in his mouth at once. Karate broke the world record in Tamil Nadu, India, making him the second Indian in a row to achieve this. To break the record, he had to keep the straws in his mouth for at least 10 seconds. This is the 17th time that this record has been broken so far. Number 28. Nutella was invented shortly after World War II ended because chocolate was so expensive. The availability of chocolate was low around this time because most of the world's armies issued rations of chocolate to their soldiers. The lack of supply led many to try creative new approaches. In 1946, Pietro Ferrero created a spread made of tiny amounts of chocolate and plenty of inexpensive hazelnuts. Although it wasn't a new idea, his formula was making it much more affordable to regular folk. Ferrero's son created the final Nutella product and perfected the formula in 1964. Number 29. North Korea has its own space program. The North Korea space program gained international attention in 1998 when a satellite launch failed to reach orbit. There have been 4 launches since, with the latest taking place in 2016. The 2 satellites which actually reached orbit both failed to function. However, according to North Korea, all launches have been great successes. Number 30. According to Genesis 1:2022, the chicken came before the egg. The age-old question seems to have been finally answered. And who answered it? The Bible. The book of Genesis states that God created all living things. It even specifies that He created all birds and instructed them to go out and increase in number. How do birds increase in number, you may ask? By laying eggs. Now, this fact only holds up if you believe in God, but it's still a pretty great answer. Number 31. Ants leave maps for other ants when they walk. Ants leave trails of pheromones when they walk, which act as maps for other ants to follow. This allows them to travel the fastest route to sources of food or their hive. The more ants that walk that route, the stronger the map is for others to follow. So even if a few ants get temporarily lost, they'll generally find their way home. The amazing thing is that the ants don't smell the pheromones, but detect them with their antennae. Number 32. Tears contain a natural painkiller, which reduces pain and improves your mood. The next time you find yourself close to tears, don't hold back. Just let it all out. The explanation comes down to the fact that emotional tears contain endorphins, which are our body's natural painkillers and mood improvers. Number 33. Saturn is the only planet in our solar system that could float in water. Although Saturn is the second largest planet in our solar system, it's also the lightest. Saturn could float in water because it's basically a giant gas ball. However, the true fact here is that you'd need an enormous bathtub. Fun fact, 1 year on Saturn is equivalent to 29.457 Earth years, or 10,759 Earth days. Number 34. Male cats have longer tails than female cats. Male cats have longer tails, simply because they are, on average, larger than female cats. Cats' tails are generally proportional to their body, So a larger body means a larger tail. On average, male cats' tails measure around 11 inches, 28 centimeters, long, whereas female cats' tails are about 9.9 inches, 25 centimeters, long. Number 35. Dolly Parton lost in a Dolly Parton look-alike contest. She joined the Dolly Parton look-alike contest on a whim, but, to her surprise, didn't win. Despite going all out with her hair and makeup, she received the least applause. Number 36. George W. Bush was once a cheerleader. In 1963, George W. Bush attended Phillips Academy in Andover, Massachusetts. During the school year, he was photographed wearing a short skirt and false breasts stuffed down his sweater to cheer on his school's team. While this was actually intended to mock the other school's team, it makes for a great, true story. Number 37. In total, there are 205 bones in the skeleton of a horse. While horses may be much larger than us, they have only one less bone than us, with the human body having 206 bones. We suppose this only leaves us with one question. What bone do we have that horses don't? Number 38. Coca-Cola once bought all the website URLs that can be read as A-Ah, all the way up to 62 H's. In 2013, the soft drink company launched a digital campaign to win over millennials and Zoomers. Coca-Cola created websites full of animated games, interactive GIFs, and videos. The "ah" in the URL stands for the sound a smile would make if it made sounds. While their ad campaign ended up being a huge success, the websites have since been deactivated. Number 39. Each year, there are more than 40,000 toilet-related injuries in the U.S. It may come as a shock, but injuries of this sort are much more common than you'd think. Some injuries wouldn't win a Nobel Prize, such as children falling off the toilet. But there are other funny incidents, like the toilet physically collapsing due to the person's weight sitting on it. Number 40. Strawberries can be red, yellow, green, or white. Most people only experience strawberries when they're already picked and packed into punnets. However, strawberries aren't red when they start growing. Instead, they start green and turn red as they ripen. Yellow or white strawberries, on the other hand, are an entirely different species of strawberries. Number 41. Walt Disney World is the second largest buyer of fireworks in the U.S. While this fact may seem shocking at first, it's no real surprise when you look deeper into it. There are 6 Walt Disney Worlds in total, and most of them have nightly fireworks displays. Some shows cost up to $50,000, so Disney World spends at least $50 million on fireworks over the course of a year. Number 42. 4 people lived in a home for 6 months, infested with over 2,000 venomous spiders. Despite the initial encounter with a highly venomous brown recluse spider, the Barger family embarked on nightly 2-hour spider hunts, collecting a total of 2,055 of them. Surprisingly, they were never bitten, revealing that brown recluse spiders are not as harmful as believed. Number 43. If you fell into a volcano, you'd float on the lava instead of melting. You've seen it in films and television hundreds of times, but that doesn't make it real. In reality, lava is 3 times denser than water. As we're mainly composed of water, we would simply float on the surface. It's still not a great way to go out, though, as you would rapidly catch on fire. Number 44. In June 2017, the Facebook community reached 2 billion active users. This was quite the milestone for the social network, as it doubled in size in a 5-year period. Since then, Facebook's growth has slowed dramatically. The social network had 2.9 billion active users as of October 2022. So, That's more than 1/3 of the world's population checks their Facebook on a regular basis. Number 45. Samuel L. Jackson requested a purple lightsaber in Star Wars to accept the part of Mace Windu. Samuel L. Jackson is a self-professed geek, so it was no surprise that he asked George Lucas to cast him in the prequels. However, Jackson wanted to find himself on screen in big fight scenes, so he made a special request to Lucas. Lucas initially declined, stating that lightsabers could only be blue, green, or red. But fortunately for fans of the purple lightsaber, he eventually changed his mind. Number 46. The giant stone heads on Easter Island have hidden bodies. The Easter Island heads are iconic, but they harbor a secret that blows the mind of all who learn it. Archaeologists discovered hidden bodies deep within the earth when digging the site. The reason their bodies are buried isn't because of aliens, or because they were built in deep holes, but simply by landslides covering them up. Number 47. Kleenex tissues were originally used as filters in gas masks. The parent company, Kimberly-Clark, started as a paper mill in the late 19th century. With the first large-scale use of gas in warfare during World War I, there was suddenly a severe demand for a solution. The newly developed Kleenex tissue, made from wood pulp, served as a replaceable filter in gas masks, saving lives. Number 48. In 1998, Sony accidentally sold 700,000 camcorders that could see through people's clothes. Sony designed the cameras to capture footage better in the dark, so their mistake was actually innocent. The camcorders were able to see through clothes as they had the ability to record in infrared. But during the day, you could see through someone's outer layer of clothing. As soon as Sony realized their error, they attempted to recall all the cameras, making it their largest product recall to date. Number 49. During your lifetime, you will spend around 79 days brushing your teeth. It's common practice to brush your teeth twice a day, for 2 minutes at a time. 4 minutes of brushing a day over a year is 1,460 minutes, which is just over 1 day of toothbrushing every year. So, if you live to the average life expectancy in the US, 79 years, you'll brush your teeth for 79 days in total. This is based on the recommended time you should brush your teeth, which you are doing, right? Number 50. Ronald McDonald is Donald McDonald in Japan because it makes pronunciation easier for the Japanese. The letters R and L in English are rather tricky for Japanese speakers to pronounce. As such, McDonald's decided to change their mascot's name to Donaldo Makudonarudo, or Donald McDonald. What do they call the Hamburglar, you may ask? Hanbagura. Thanks for watching. Like and comment if you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe and activate notifications so you don't miss the next interesting facts. See you in our next video.